conduct a basic study on the spatial condition analysis for the prevention of museum robbery. Recently, the Korean government has implemented policies to expand museums and art galleries to raise the cultural level of the people. In particular, the government has announced plans to build 140 new museums and art galleries in Korea, and various studies are being conducted on the spatial composition, circulation, color, and exhibition methods related to museums. However, the expansion of museums had led to more museum cases, so security has emerged as an important issue due to the nature of the artifacts in the museums. Cases of museum is due to poor security include the 2019 protest in which several criminals left the artifacts worth 1.3 trillion from the Prince family in West Germany, and Van Gogh paintings were stolen from a Dutch museum that had closed because of COVID-19 in March 2020. Cases in Korea include the theft of 4 national treasures from the Gwangju National Museum on May 50, 2003. Nevertheless, the number of studies on spatial planning against museums is still remarkably low, but such research is necessary because most of the museums that have recently been designed and built are open spaces for social communities. Therefore, the purpose of this study is to build data for designing museums in the first future by analyzing and predicting the spaces that are vulnerable to theft in an actual museum in Korea. The concept of museum varies depending on the definition of different situations. However, in general, museums are social spaces that collect, preserve, deliver, and exhibit various objects of artistic. Visitors can culture, historical, or scientific importance and are active spaces for social interaction where the visitors can experience variable or new things. According to the ICOM status, a museum is a permanent establishment administered in the general interest for the purpose of preserving, studying, and enhancing by various means, and in particular of exhibiting to the public for its delectation and instruction groups of objects and specimens of cultural value. Artistic, historical, scientific, and technological collections, botanical and zoological gardens, and aquariums, public active in situations making permanent exhibition rooms and are also considered to be museums. According to the International Council of Museums, a museum is a non-profit permanent institute in the service of society and its development of the public. The museum acquires, conserves, researches, communicates, and exhibits the tangible and intangible realities of humanity and its environment for the purpose of education, study, and enjoyment. Museums are also divided into national museums, public museums, and private museums, depending on the founder. According to the collection of artifacts, museums are also divided into general and specialized museums. General museums care for a collection of various exhibits, and specialized museums usually specialize in fields such as archaeology, history, art history, anthropology, folklore, natural history, industry, communication, transportation, medicine, and calligraphy. The composition of the museum is classified into exhibition space, storage space, workspace, and public space according to its nature. First, the exhibition space is divided into exhibition facilities and exhibition support facilities. This space should be carefully planned according to the exhibition program because it encompasses the largest area as a single function among the unique species, and it is most frequently used by visitors. Second, the storage space serves the collection in museums. Subsequent space should be prepared by considering the increase in artifacts in future. Storage space is usually include unloading facility to unload packages and dismantle artifacts and other management and auxiliary facilities. Third, the workspace is designed for museum employees and is generally located in a place that does not interfere with the visitor's circulation. For public spaces, encourage visitors to participate in various programs, and this trend is increasing as the function of museums is subdivided into complex cultural spaces. Most of the previous studies focused on the spatial composition, exhibition methods, hierarchies, and visitor circulation in museums. However, research is also being conducted on the security of museums, which this study aims to analyze, and this means that the study of the security of museums covered in this study has its significance. This study used space syntax to analyze the areas further able to deal according to the spatial structure of museum. Space index is suitable for this study because it divides the complex space of the internal space into unit spaces and quantitatively analyzes the spatial hierarchy between the unit spaces. The complex space divides on certain space refers to the unit space of an open space where one can recognize our indoor spaces as a visual point, where it is possible to analyze the links between the unit spaces by dividing the indoor space into complex spaces. In particular, space index can derive the area vulnerable to live in museums by deriving the outer polyvector of spaces that are rarely used and low profile spaces through spatial analysis. The following describes the quantitative indicators of space syntax. The global integration shows the overall relationship of all spaces, including the spaces to be analyzed as well as the spaces in the surrounding area. In general, a global integration below one indicates segregation in which the spaces are distanced far from each other, but a value higher than 1.7 indicates integration, indicating that spaces are distanced closely to all others. That is, higher global integrations of a specific space mean that this space is of great significance to the overall spatial structure and that it has access to all other spaces in the building or city to be analyzed. On the other hand, a space with a global integration means less access to all other spaces and less significance in terms of spatial structure. Local integration shows the degree of integration within a certain range near a specific spaces and quantifies the accessibility of a specific unit complex space based on recognizing complex spaces with a spatial depth of free while looping. That is, if the accessibility of a certain unit complex space to the complex spaces in the entire area is the global integration. The accessibility of specific unit space considered human cognitive ability is the local integration. Therefore, in terms of summarizing the indicators related to integration, the areas with higher integration are areas with higher spatial awareness and less concern of depth, whereas areas with lower integration Table 1. This study selected the Gwangju National Museum as the analysis target based on the following. The museum is located in Korea and is currently operating, and this study intended to select a museum in other regions, excluding the Seoul metropolitan area. The museum also has a total fellow area of over 1,000 and more than 50% of the exhibition and storage spaces are vulnerable to theft. Finally, the study candidates were limited to museums specializing in specific entities for at least 10 years. This study analyzed the areas vulnerable to theft according to the spatial structure of a museum using space syntax by dividing convex spaces through joining the components in the floor plan. This study grouped the spaces in the museum into exhibition, storage, work, and other public spaces. Second, the spaces in museum's floor plan were divided into complex space units, in which homogeneous spaces except corridors were regarded as one complex space even if the visibility was blocked. Third, the global and local integration of the divided complex spaces were derived by using space text, and areas with both global and local integrations were considered to be spaces with low visitors usage and awareness. Accordingly, it is possible to predict the areas vulnerable to theft in museums by deriving the complex space with both low global and local integrations. This study analyzed the areas vulnerable to theft according to the spatial structure of a museum using space text by dividing complex spaces through joining the components in the floor plan. First, the minimum maximum and mean global integration of the Gwangju National Museum were 0.6, 2.5, and 1.57 respectively. As shown in Table 2, the complex spaces that show both low global and local integration based on the analyzed results of global integration above spaces with low integration in each area, and these spaces in low accessibility and significance to other spaces are generally complex spaces of the museum's outer circulations or storage spaces. Therefore, CCTVs or detectors should be installed in such areas vulnerable to theft. Second, the minimum, maximum, and mean local integration of the Gwangju National Museum are 0.3, 0.9, and 0.71 respectively. The complex spaces that show both global and local integrations based on the local integration and are spaces that are vulnerable to it, and these spaces with low utilization and awareness are generally complex spaces of the museum's outer circulations or storage spaces. These problems can be solved by installing CCTVs or detectors in these areas. Third, are shown in Figure 1 and 2. This study identified the areas that are most vulnerable to theft by delivering the complex spaces with both global and local integration based on the analysis above. These spaces with low awareness and integration are generally warehouses or storage spaces. The problems in such areas vulnerable to theft should be solved by inserting CCTVs and detectors or by installing subspaces to confer access. This is an analysis study that focused on the areas vulnerable to theft according to the spatial structure of museums and analyzed the building area, spatial composition, and circulation of an actual museum in Korea. The main findings are as follows. First, this study provided the complex spaces in the global integration borders in the museum. The information desks and corridors that require high integration in each space show average values. But the complex spaces of the outer perimeter and storage spaces show low values. These complex spaces are vulnerable to theft because they have low accessibility to other spaces and low significance in terms of spatial structure. Therefore, educational control facilities need to be installed in these vulnerable areas. Second, this study provided the complex spaces in low logical integration borders in the museum. These areas are generally the complex spaces of the museum's outer circulation or storage space, and CCTVs and detectors should be installed to resolve related issues related. This study has its significance because it analyzes the areas vulnerable to theft according to the spatial structure of a museum and build basic data for the design of museums. However, this study has limitations because it private the areas vulnerable to theft by relying on space syntax, which is based on spatial structure and hierarchy. Further research should be conducted in the future using multiple methods. Thank you for your attention.